Hi, I'm Ryan Berry. Thank you for showing a little interest in our micro internship program. I just thought it would be easier to create a little video and kind of explain what we're trying to accomplish and see if it makes sense for you to hop on board. What we're trying to do is we're trying to find easier paths for students in Champaign County to get involved and networked in their industry that they are wanting to go into in their career path. Some of the barriers that we've seen with conversations that I've had, the first is that a lot of businesses are hesitant to do a full internship because it is, a lot of questions of what am I going to do with this kid? I got to kind of babysit them. I have to find ways to keep them busy, or I got to pay somebody else to kind of spend time with them. And it isn't as advantageous for a business to accomplish that. Some of the other barriers we see is that we have a lot of students that are wanting to get out of the classroom and wanting to get more involved and get networked within Champaign County and understand what types of jobs are in their industry of interest, but we are kind of not meeting that goal on both sides because of those barriers. We're also seeing a lot of students that are getting involved that are having a lot of success, that are bringing back that information to their peers, that are introducing new career paths within their schools that maybe other students weren't thinking of. We're also seeing that some of those students are going straight into the workforce, or they are going and getting a degree or a certification, whatever that field requires. And then they are already networked to reach back out to the people that they have as far as employers here in Champaign County, with hopes of not having to go outside of our county to come back and work. So with us owning Urbana Daily Digital, which is a local positive news resource, and we've kind of been looking at these two sides and thinking, how can we maybe step in and solve some of these problems? So my genius idea, we'll see if it turns out to be genius or not, is that can we get students involved with creating content within your industry? So as an example, let's say we have a student that is interested in healthcare. Could they be creating content within the healthcare field for the general public, educating them on getting mammograms, educating them on what's happening at the hospital, educating them on new trends with medicine, or new ways to think about taking care of themselves, ways to talk about mental health, ways to talk about all the different things that have to do with healthcare, while exploring all the different fields, if it's being an RN or an STNA, or a chiropractor or a dentist, or all the different pieces of healthcare. They can get a better understanding of that, meet people that are doing it, ask them questions that they can then go educate the community on, and then have a network of people in Champaign County with the hope of when they're ready to take that step and be employed, they're thinking about coming back here because this is where they're comfortable with. I share a story a lot. When I was part of a focus group at Triad several years ago, one of the things that really stood out to me was we were talking about the day before this focus group, they were still talking about that they went on a tour day, and they went and visited several manufacturers. And one of those manufacturers that they kept talking about, and they all said, "We're going to work at Bundy. We're going to work at Bundy." And I said, "Why Bundy?" And they said, "Well, they gave us Coke on our tour, and they gave us free Coke." And then they had the person that gave the tour. They knew their name. That person made them feel very comfortable and said, "Hey, reach out if you want to work here. You now understand it." And they were all the path of least resistance is what I always bring up with high schoolers. And if we can make that path less resistant and get them more integrated in with a network of people within that industry, and understanding that you can have those jobs here, that's the ultimate goal. And in the end, when that student goes and applies, the cool piece will be that they can go out and create content that are then our community can learn from as well. So how cool would it be if you had someone applying for a job at your location and they said, "Hey, here's a couple articles that I wrote that was teaching our community about this industry. Here's some videos I created. Here's some interviews I did with local leaders that helped educate my community on this while I was in high school." The same for college applications, anything that they may be able to use that for. It's extremely beneficial to them as well. To me, it's a win-win-win-win. And then what we can do from the Urbana Daily Digital side is we can take care of the supervision side of things. We can have an employee that is responsible for keeping up with the students, making sure that they're getting connected to where your workload on your side and for your team is minimal, to where they are simply picking up the phone and answering some questions for an interview, or, "Hey, can we pop in for a half an hour and we're going to do a quick video interview talking about X topic." The goal would be that it's minimal effort for you with more maximum return on investment, while also educating the community on your needs, your skill sets, what it is that you need in your workforce. If it's you're trying to hire, if you're trying to educate people on just what you do, tell your story. There's a lot of ways to be able to take that content and better create it in a way that the community will accept it. So if you're willing to hop on board, we'd love to have you. If you have more questions, I'd love to sit down, hop on a video call, or have coffee and just kind of talk through this a little bit more. We can tailor it specific to just about anything. So we have a lot of students that are excited for the possibility of this. We're trying to find now the businesses that also see the value that we can then connect those two together. And this would be a year-long thing. So we're trying to get this started in January of 26 and have these students working on this project. Juniors is our goal, to bring in juniors of 26 through the December of their senior year, which then allows them to be able to pick up additional internships, full internships. Once you get to know them, that's something that you could offer. It's something to where they could go directly into the workforce that summer. If it's an entry level position or something that you could offer from that, there's a lot of potential of paths that this can create for the students as well, and gives you an opportunity to kind of test out those students prior to making any type of commitments. So I'd hope you join us. I hope you see the vision that we're trying to do. And if you have any feedback or anything that we can do to make this easier, please, please, please let me know. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful day.